I'm sitting here in the lobby at Barber Ford here in Ventura, and I'm leaning up against one of these GT500 KRs. This thing's 540 horsepower. It takes a lot to control one of these. And believe me, if you're going to have good car control on one of these, you better have good use of the car's controls. So today we're going to take a couple minutes and talk about seating. The right way to sit, the wrong way to sit, and why. So let's jump in and take a look. Seating is really important. Like I mentioned before, to have good control of the car, you have to have good use of the car's controls. And there's a sequence of things you do to get seated correctly. The first is your feet. Your feet need to be able to go flat against the floor beneath the pedals. The reason is, in a car like this, 4,000 pounds and 540 horsepower, brakes are going to get hot. If the brake pedal fades, you want to still be able to use the balls of your feet, not your tippy toes trying to reach it. So your feet are flat on the floor. Most people actually sit too far back. The second thing is, after your feet are situated, then you move to your hands. Most wheels like this are really pretty nice now. This one has locations for your thumbs. That's what those are for. Palms on the outside, thumbs there. Look, it's 180 degrees apart. You can rotate the wheel about 110 degrees without locking your elbow, which is another important part. If you're driving and you're like this, that's not how you want to do it. You want to drive with your arms, not your shoulders. On most road courses, unless you're in a Jeep, you could drive the whole road course with that much turning. That means you don't have to shuffle or anything like that, and you don't want to be shuffling. The last thing you want to work on are your gauges. Once your hands and feet are in place and your butt is firmly tucked in so you have good feedback from the car, then you look at your gauges. The least important gauge when you're performance driving is the speedometer. You really care about your motor, so you want oil and water and tachometer. The last thing you worry about is your speedometer. And that's proper seating. Well, now that you're seated and you're comfortable inside your 500 horsepower beast, there's something that we take for granted quite often, and that's the mirrors. Let's talk about the right way to set up the mirrors. If you go to a race course and go play for a day, at some point in the day, somebody's going to be right next to you, either passing you or you're going to be passing them, and you need to be able to know that they're there. So let's talk about that. The proper way to set up a mirror is really in the quote, the blind spot. You want to catch the blind spot. Don't worry about the body of the car. Trust me, it's there. But you want to be able to see maybe a couple of feet out. So when we're setting our students up and they're getting their mirrors set up, we do this, we have them look at our hands and nod that we have that. We also do it on the other side. We put our hand out about 24 to 30 inches from the car to make sure they can see it. At some point in the day, somebody's going to be passing you, or you're going to be passing somebody else, and you're going to be door to door. You want to know they're there.